Hello everybody and welcome to the list video. Today we have 5 spoiler-free tips for the Dunwich Legacy, or as spoiler-free as we can make them. This video is here if you're just starting to play Dunwich Legacy and you're wondering, what should I bring in my deck? Because there's a lot of time I see people on the subreddit being like, I'm about to play Edge of the Earth, what should I know? Well, we'll help you with that in a few weeks, but right now we're talking about Dunwich Legacy, because that's,
No, we're pivoting.
Yeah.
Audible the video.
I mean, we could just, roll the die after this. Go to a different campaign. Don't necessarily need to go in order. But, We're also about to be playing Dunwich Legacy, so this is helpful for us. We've already built our decks, though. Yeah. All right, so let's go to the tip number 5, which is... Oh, I guess it's just not here. There it is. Boom. There we go. Bring a gun or magic spells. This is something that Bryn has kind of burned into us for a long time, because...
Yeah, machete's good, but it isn't good enough. Not here.
Yeah. It's not like you're... It's a fine weapon, 85% of the time.
Yeah, but
that's 15%.
When it's not, you will feel it.
Yeah. And it tries to teach you this pretty early on, too. It could be your first scenario that you play where suddenly you're looking at your melee weapons and you're like...
You're sad.
Yeah, you're sad.
Yeah, it is something that I would like to see more in future campaigns.
Yeah, agreed.
There should be a reward for taking limited use combat options.
Yeah, definitely. So
that's a different topic for a different time.
But I agree. I do like them because it was the enemy that scared me for the longest time, and it's because it disrupted my game plan. So expect enemies that are going to be disrupting your game plan if you're only going to be bringing a melee weapon.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to bring only guns or magic spells, but or even primarily as your primary weapon, but you should have them available.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna want it.
The alternative to this is if, say, for example, you're playing someone like Nathaniel Cho, just make your number huge. That's another good option as well for this kind of stuff. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, that one should go without saying for every.
Yes, yeah, number should always be
if
big.
you can make your number big, do that.
Yeah, it's always it's never the wrong thing.
It'll work. It'll work good.
Yeah. All right, on to number 4. We have Mythos deck management or damage mitigation is good. Now, this might sound obvious, right? This can apply to any campaign. And it does on a blanket statement. But in Dunwich, the Mythos deck at times can hit really hard. So much so that probably one of the coolest encounter cards that you has a number so big on it that they've just never done that again. And that was pretty sick, and it's gonna scare you, and then you're like, this is gonna kill me, and it can kill you.
Why Desires don't do that anymore?
Yeah, I know, but
actually though,
I don't know, it does seem like it's I think it's a good encounter card.
I do too.
I think it is. I think it's a really good encounter card. Yeah, so you'll know it. You'll know what it is, and if you've played Dunwich, you'll also know what we're talking about. Yeah. But being able to control who gets it, or who can cancel it, or alternatively, mitigating a big bunch of damage is also very helpful for that.
Yep, there's a couple of other treacheries that just deal damage or horror as well, and so you're gonna want to be able to control who gets those in certain situations, or be able to cancel them to some degree.
Yeah,
that's important as well. So
there's also scenarios later on where a card drawn at the wrong time getting attached to an enemy can just absolutely ruin your day. So being able to stop those as well is very powerful. Yeah, it's it is. It's kind of just boilerplate. You always want to be able to do Mythos deck management, but Dunwich hits harder at sometimes out of its encounter deck. It really does.
Dunwich does have an encounter deck that is actually kind of threatening. As opposed to just well, I'll kill you in 7 turns or whatever. Eventually, if you draw too many of these,
and it synergizes so well. If you draw the card that we're talking about, you can then draw a card that mills cards from the top of your deck, and you're just wait a minute, that's not fair. That's cheating.
Hang on.
Yeah. It does a lot that's really, really powerful there, and being ahead of that can make you have a smoother time when you play.
It's actually a big difference between Dunwich and to a lesser extent Carcosa and layer campaigns, I think, is the layer campaigns, the encounter decks rely on you falling behind bit by bit, and they try to burrow you under advantage, whereas Dunwich Legacy in particular just throws haymakers at you.
Yeah.
And if you can manage the haymakers and don't get too many of them in a row, then you're usually fine.
Yeah.
But it's not where you can, if you start to slip behind, it becomes hard to catch up, in the layer campaigns.
No, definitely. And I think that that's true because sometimes you can actually just have like a smooth ride in a Dunwich campaign, and then occasionally you're just like you get punched like 5 times in the face, and you're like, well,
it's a lot more like classic Arkham Horror.
Yeah.
Than what this game is.
Which makes sense because it is like it was the first campaign that came out.
More Haymaker cards, please.
Yeah, punch us in the throat.
Just give us more good cards.
All right, number 3, we got this campaign rewards flexing. Wow. Yeah. Once again, that sounds like a nice blanket statement that flexing is good, but Dunwich, it rewards it more so than anything else.
Yep, you're gonna definitely have situations and scenarios where your fighter is gonna be like, I have nothing to do, and you're like, man, I wish you could get a couple clues to help out, or like your clue getter is gonna be locked down, or your fighter's gonna be locked down by several monsters, and you're gonna be like, yeah, I really wish you could like attack at all.
Yeah, if you've watched any of our playthroughs, you'll definitely find some parts where we have to test numbers we didn't think we would. And
yep.
It's straight up not a good time.
Yeah.
And like when Travis says there could be a time when your fighter has nothing to do, that could like legitimately never be truer than in certain parts in Dunwich. Yeah. Like your fighter could like have nothing to do. So like being able to get clues rather than just like setting up your kit for the inevitable fight, like being able to also grab clues during downtime is, I think, very nice for allowing you to stay ahead, because then when a Haymaker shows up, you're like prepared for it or far enough ahead that it doesn't hurt as hard.
Yeah. And to extend on the flexing, I don't just mean flexing like a usual sense, not just like, oh, you can sometimes get clues or sometimes fight. I mean like you should be able to pass like test at 4 difficulty for any skill when you need to. Not consistently, but like once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, at least be able to try it and not just be like, well.
Yeah.
Let's go.
With your like 1 in the skill value and no cards that boost you, like,
yeah,
so lose.
It's also one of those things that like when Dunwich feels like the first time we played Arkham, where it was like you were Jenny, you were Rex, and I was Ashcan Pete, and we were like sticking together and working together to solve problems.
Yep.
Rex was using mind over matter to evade the enemy that was with him. I was investigating. You were also grabbing clues or like doing things with like,
probably, because that's Jenny.
Just committing a million cards from your hand to do
1
it.
damage at a time with Switchblade. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Let's go.
And I think that's like what Dunwich will have the smoothest time if everyone is just able to kind of do everything as needed.
That kind of gameplay.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I mean, we could just play only flexes from here on out. At least we can
forever.
like chase it.
I mean, that's what I've done 2 times out of the last 3, I guess. Yeah. Carson is just technically.
I mean, that's pretty close to what we're about to be doing with Dunwich.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. News on that soon. All right, on to hint number 2, which is cards that give you bonus XP are nice. Once again, this just sounds like a blanket statement, but Dunwich doesn't give a lot of XP.
Yeah, it's notoriously bad for that, I guess, depending on your point of view.
Yeah, I mean, like Dunwich to me, like I like around 24 XP is like where I want to be at the end of a campaign. Dunwich is like probably 16 to 20, depending on how it goes.
Yeah.
So like a bit of XP boost will help you get above that. Yeah.
Yeah, just percentage-wise, like every point is more important in this campaign than it is in future ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have the Dunwich box and you have Delve Too Deep, play your Delve Too Deeps. I know it sounds with everything we said before how the Mythos deck hits harder. Yeah. Just play them. Who cares, right?
Yeah,
and play them early, too.
Well, you play them smart.
Yeah, when I was playing with Eric, and I was brought back to that like old feeling of Eric was like, I'm going to Delve Too Deep. And I was like, okay. And just like in like turn 4.
I have a spare action, a spare resource. I'll just fire this off, and you're like, okay.
And it was like that old feeling that I was like, okay, this is what it's like to not have to play like 100% optimally with the card, and you're actually like gonna like go for a little bit of a ride. You know, it's fun. So like, just do it. Have some fun, right? Who cares about like the right moment to play it when just like like, hey, I'm gonna shoot a Delve Too Deep this turn. Yeah, do it.
Just do it.
All right, and number 1. Oh man, there's a.
What?
I have to tell you guys after this as well. I think I've told you this, but there's the Eric Carcosa one starts on Monday for people who are watching on the channel, and it's a great blind run. There are so many great moments in that blind run. Yeah. Okay, number 1. make sure your card draw comes in bursts. So this links back to the previous tip about having like Mythos protection or damage mitigation. The other option to deal with a certain encounter card is race it, so to speak. So it's hard to go with too much spoilers in this, but it punishes you for shuffling through your deck. Because right now the punishment is just take one horror. That's pretty soft. This one, like,
punishes you more.
Yeah, like, it cuts your throat open and watch you, like...
Yeah, just like a little bit more.
Yeah, just the tiniest, tiniest
just
bit more.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, you can't afford to do it too many times.
Yeah.
That's why you want to draw through your deck in bursts.
So, what is the other option is if you are planning to draw cards, because cards want to draw cards, like decks want to draw cards,
That's what you're playing.
Yeah.
The idea is that you get through your deck before the card shows up. So that's why burst draw is better, because it allows you to make bigger bursts through your draw pile rather than just drawing like 1 or 0 or 2 a turn. Yeah.
Yep. As sort of tangent to this, I think that card selection is generally better than like just blanket card draw in this campaign. Especially if you're building around a certain card where you have limited experience. Playing something like Prepared for the Worst or No Stone Unturned might be better than playing like, Preposterous Sketches or Deep Knowledge or something that just draws you cards.
Yeah.
Because it makes you less it gives you more turns to work with before your deck runs out of cards, but also like they look at more cards, which when you have less experience, you want to be able to find your high experience.
Yeah.
Finding your high experience cards is more important than just drawing generic cards because they're better, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely. Because there will come a time too that just in a certain point you're gonna be like, okay, so I have 11 cards left in my deck, which means I'm not drawing anymore because the thing has shown up, and that's when this selection is still good because you can still dig like the exact card you need.
I need a shotgun to kill this guy.
Yeah.
So
or like an extra ammunition, like I can just like find it, and then not have to worry about just like burst through it and hoping to find it and then just ending up...
Yeah, hoping it's not like the second last card or whatever and exploding.
Yeah, definitely. Sweet! Alright, well, we're going to use all these tips in our upcoming run.
Or
right?
probably none.
Yeah.
Nope.
What are you talking about? We got tip 3 on lock. We got that one. No problem.
Yeah, we got that one good.
By necessity.
Well, we have like encounter deck manipulation, I think.
We have this one as well.
We definitely have this one, yes.
Yeah, we have this one. Yeah. So
we're doing good there.
yeah, so the video for the tips is done, but for the people who are watching who know what we're talking about, we basically I think this is like the reimagining of how we used to do drafts, because it feels very draft-like, just with more control.
Yeah, kind of.
So like a new draft challenge with like a change of pace is going to be coming up on the channel soon. And it's gonna be good. I promise you that much.
It's gonna be something.
Yeah. It's gonna be one of those things where we gotta look back and be like, hey, remember that time, Justin, you played Song of the Dead as Jim and you didn't hit anything? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, let's go. Let's go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one. And as always, GG's.